You can never guess. In 1,000 years, you keep on reading, uttering that phrase, you'll never know it's talking about Muhammad. But in the original, the word is Muhammadim. But I didn't know it then. So I said, you see, if we are reasoning about Christ, why shouldn't we reason about Muhammad? So I said, no, that is quite fair. So I said, please open Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18. Now in the booklet that is given to you, when you go home, look up this verse and master this verse. Because look, the days of the professionals are over. I'm telling you, it's not the professional's job. You say, why don't the Sheikh propagate Islam? Why don't the Imams propagate Islam? Why doesn't Ahmad Deedat do this? No. Each and every Muslim must get involved according to your capacity. And I can't imagine that people who are responding in such great numbers to these lectures, that you're not coming here to be entertained. You want to get some knowledge that you can use. And we are giving it to you in black and white. What I'm talking to you now, it is in that book. You go home, look it up, write it on a piece of card, put it in your pocket, and memorize the verse. Memorize it. Once you memorized it, repeat it. Then every opportunity you get, practice it. As the Christians are doing on you, you do the same. We must share. They want to share the heaven with you. We are prepared to share more than that with them. You know, our curry and rice as well as heaven on the other side. They can only share heaven. Cost them nothing to give heaven to you. You know that. He is not prepared to give you a cup of tea or bhajiyas or samosas. Never. But you go to the Muslims' home, they come along and they eat our food, they eat our biryani, our samosas, our tea, and they want to make nest in our head. Now look for a change. It is about time that you start sharing something more than heaven. Heaven cost you nothing, but at least share something more than that. Your kusistas, and your tea. So I'm asking the Dumini, I said, please open Deuteronomy 18:18. And when he opened it, I said, look, I'm trying to learn it in Afrikaans. And if I would like you to correct me if I'm wrong. My pronunciation, help me. So saying, I said, what is written there? Profeet sal ek vir hulle verwek, uit die midde van hulle broers, soos jy is, en ek sal my woord in sy monde lê, en hy sal aan hulle sê, alles wat ek hom beveel. So he says, very good. I don't know whether I was murdering it, but he said it's very good. He says a good try. So I'm asking, who is that prophet? In English, it says, I will raise them up a prophet from among the brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. To those of you who might want to listen to this from the Bible in Arabic. It's so beautiful. It's nice to know, because when you go among the Christian Arabs, I was thinking when I was young, I wanted to go to Lebanon before this trouble started. I said, I want to go and speak to the Lebanese Christians. And how much nicer if I can quote them in their mother tongue. Like the Afrikaner, quote him in his mother tongue. You are bilingual. You must master this in both languages, English and Afrikaans. If you can master another language, another dialect, go ahead. The Bibles are available in 2,000 different languages. Endless scope. So I start learning that in Arabic to go to Lebanon. It says, "Ukimu lahum nabiyyan min wasati ikhwatin mithlaka wa ajalu kalami fi famihi wa yakallamuhum bi kulli ma usihi bihi." I wanted to go to Israel, talk to the Jews, so I learned it in Hebrew. Navi akim lahim mikariv akhayhim kamokhavin. Look, I do it in a dozen different languages because it opens up doors. Because if you can speak a man's mother tongue, his heart opens out to you. He's prepared to listen to you, even if you're murdering the language. As I was doing. I could have been murdering Afrikaans, but he loved it. He loved to listen to me talk. A grown-up person who knows nothing about Afrikaans, and is trying to rattle it off. So I'm asking, who is this prophet? So he said, this is Jesus. But I said, it doesn't say Jesus. He said, no. You see, prophecies are word pictures of something that is going to happen in the future. And when that thing actually comes to happen, you say, this is the fulfillment of that. What was said is now being completed, accomplished. That is a prophecy. And this prophecy refers to Jesus. I said, why? He said, you see, it says, soos jy is. Profeet sal ek vir hulle verwek uit die midde van hulle broers. Soos jy is. Soos jy is means like unto thee, like you, like Moses. And Jesus is like Moses. So I said, how? He said, you see, Jesus was a Jew and Moses was a Jew. said, yes. So Jesus is like Moses. He said, you see, Jesus was a prophet and Moses was a prophet. I said, yes. So he said, Jesus is like Moses. I said, anything else? He said, no, this is what he can think of for the moment. So I said, look, if these are the only two standards of finding a candidate for that prophecy, then this prophecy will fit every Jewish prophet after Moses. David, Solomon, Ezekiel, Elisha, Elijah, Zechariah, Micah, name them, Zephaniah. There are 70 different prophets mentioned in the Old Testament. In the New, John the Baptist, Yahya alayhi salam. So I said, why should not this prophecy, fit any one of those other prophets, and why to Jesus? Because they were all Jews and they were all prophets. So why make fish of one and follow the other? Why Jesus and why not any one of the others? There was no answer. So I said, you see, Dumini, I think that Jesus is not like Moses for 3 reasons. Number 1, I said, according to you, now mark my words, I said, according to you, Jesus is a God. He said, yes. He's very happy because they believe that Jesus Christ is God incarnate, God Almighty coming down to earth as a man. I said, according to you, Jesus is God. But I said, Moses is not God. He said, yes. I said, therefore, Jesus is not like Moses. Number 2, I said, according to you, Jesus died for the sins of the world. He said, yes. But I said, Moses didn't die for anybody's sins. He said, yes. I said, therefore, Jesus is not like Moses. Number 3, I said, according to you, Jesus went to hell for 3 days. Imagine, they sent the God to hell to go and retrieve people. 3 days he was in hell after his crucifixion. His soul went into hell, Jahannam. I said, according to you, look, we don't say that. We can't say that. That the prophet of God, we believe they're all sinless, and an innocent man, Allah put him into Jahannam. What for? He said, I said, according to you, Jesus went to hell for 3 days. He said, yes. But I said, Moses didn't have to go there. He said, yes. I said, therefore, Jesus is not like Moses. And I could see, beads of perspiration. It was a cold day. Beads of perspiration. And I felt, look, we all have our idiosyncrasies. Every nation has certain characteristics. All of us. The Indian Muslim, he behaves in a certain way. The Malay Muslim, he behaves in a certain way. We all have our characteristics. The Afrikaner has got his characteristic. You see, when you corner him, he says, where's my gun? No, because he was used to that. You see, look, the gun. So anytime you corner the man, he's looking for his gun. The Britisher, the Englishman. I think our video man is a Britisher, with apologies. You see, the Britisher, when you corner him, you know what he says? Let's have a roundtable conference. Look, these are we all have some funny idiosyncrasies, characteristics, all of us. So I said, now before that happens, the man starts looking for his gun, as though he's a Dumini. I said, now, shh. I said, you see, Dumini, look, these, what we are talking about, are hypothetical things. These are not solid facts, hard facts. That little child, your child playing on the veranda, that child will not be able to understand what we are talking about the divinity of Christ, about his redeeming blood, about him descending into Hades, hell. The child can't understand what you're talking about. Let us talk about something basic, solid, simple facts that even a little child can understand.